Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Assassin, and we're back with some more content for you. We're over here on Insomniac's Spider-Man. It is a really terrific game. If you haven't played it, make sure you do so. I haven't played a whole bunch of single-player games on this channel. It's honestly kind of an oddity for me. In fact, I don't think we've played any single-player games on the channel yet. This would be a nice dip into that section, and I wanted to do this because Spider-Man has a new TV show out. It's a cartoon, and it's really great. It's called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. If you haven't seen it, we're going to be talking about it today. We're gonna have some spoilers in here. I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on it, play a little bit of Spider-Man, swing around, pretend to live out my fantasy of becoming one of the best superheroes ever, and yeah, so we're gonna load in here. I haven't actually finished the campaign at all, so the single player I haven't really finished at all. In fact, I don't even know how the story progresses or ends or anything like that. I decided that I wasn't going to do that. I went and did like all of the side quests and stuff like that for whatever reason. I have like all of the backpacks. I went and did most of like the locations where you take pictures and stuff like that. I started doing like all the little side Easter eggs, and until I could do the entire campaign by itself for whatever reason. I don't know why I thought that that was a good idea. I probably should have just ran through the story. That way I could be up to date and I'd be excited for the new, game, and then the third game that's most definitely going to come out. I mean, I heard nothing but great things about the second game, so I would assume that is going to be the case with, everything that's going on. I don't remember where I'm at in the story. I know it's not super far. I started trying to run through it as quickly as possible because I realized that it was a super stupid idea for me to just do all of the side content first. I eventually got like locked, like a soft lock on doing the side content, so I started doing the main missions and stuff. So wherever we're at, that's where we're at, but we're not going to be doing any of the content today. I just kind of wanted to swing around, get a feel for the environment. What we're really here to speak about is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I was not really excited about the show, and for whatever reason that was, we're gonna try to get into that right now. I didn't think that the show was gonna be of any interest to me, especially after I heard what they were going to be doing with it. So and this is a hot take, my favorite Spider-Man, at least in the live action sense, is going to be Tom Holland. MCU Spider-Man is my favorite, probably just because in my opinion he's the best out of the three. I know a lot of people love Tobey, and you're probably gonna hate me even more for this, but I don't hold Tobey as high as I do Andrew Garfield. Andrew, for me personally, was just kick-ass. I really enjoyed his rendition of Peter Parker. I loved the movies, even though the movies aren't that great, right? The movies definitely could be better, and there is stuff that I would change. But if you were gonna give me another Spider-Man movie, like if Sony came to me and was like, so what movie do you want? I would tell them immediately, I want The Amazing Spider-Man 3. I want him to finish his trilogy. You have no idea how emotional I got when I got to see Andrew come back and then do like, and this is gonna be a spoiler for No Way Home, but if you haven't seen that movie already, I mean, you're probably never gonna see it anyways. So he gets to basically like relive his, tragic moment with his Mary Jane, or in this case, it was his Gwen Stacy. When she died, snapped her neck, he got to relive that, and he got to save his partner. He got to save that important person. He got to have some like therapy. It was a super great moment, and I would definitely just, I want The Amazing Spider-Man 3. I want him to fight his alien goo monster. I think that would be so sick. We're definitely not gonna get that, I don't think. I can dream though. I can definitely dream. For me, the way that I stack up the Spider-Men is Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and then Tobey. It's not that I don't like Tobey's Spider-Man. In fact, I went through a giant binge where I had to watch all of the Spider-Man movies just so that I could make myself feel better about my rankings, because I wanted to see all of the movies. I watched every single thing. I watched all of Tom's movies, both of Andrew's movies, and then the trilogy for Sam Raimi, and they're not bad movies by any stretch of the imagination. It's just my personal preference tells me that Tom's is just what I like, and Andrew's, I just really like his rendition of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and I don't know. Those are my hot takes for the day, but either way, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is awesome. I was only interested because it was going to be, the Tom Holland origin story is how it was officially pitched, and then at some point they decided that they didn't want to be held down by the MCU and all the rules and everything that comes with that. They want to have more freedom to do a different story, and I totally agree with that, and I'm glad that they did it. The way that they wove it together was pretty sick. You can definitely tell where the old story was going to be, or maybe it was just an homage to the Tom Holland story. Something that I liked that they did, they went ahead and in the beginning of the show, there's this scene with Peter that's like directly from Civil War. How you first see Peter, they do that like whole entire scene with the same exact music, and it's so good. They change up the way that Peter gets his powers. It's not the typical origin story. I mean, he does get bit by a spider, but the way it happens is kind of cool, honestly. They connect it to like Doctor Strange, and then like I think it's Venom. I have no idea. I probably should have looked it up, but there's like a symbiote that pops out of a portal from Doctor Strange, and in the process of that happening, they're battling. Peter gets a like spider that crawls on him and bites him, and this spider comes from the Oscorp labs, and it's gonna sound confusing, but basically what happens is that this is a future event in Peter's life that just happens. It's Peter's blood that turns him into the Spider-Man, but the spider's created because Peter is Spider-Man. It's a little wacky. If you watch the show, it makes sense, but I thought that was really cool. I like the way they did that. There's a really awesome dynamic between Mr. Osborn and Peter. He finds out like immediately that Peter is Spider-Man. He becomes the guy in the chair. Harry also gets like put into the fold as well. I like their dynamic between each other. It's really fun. The story itself is just good. And then the addition of Nico, which is like Peter's best friend. It's like Ned, but not Ned. They're doing so many different things. The way they have crafted this story had made me really interested to see where they're going to go next with it. So they have so many different new characters. They don't have a Mary Jane in there yet, nor do they have like a Gwen Stacy. No one is officially the MJ or the Gwen Stacy. There's multiple different ways that they can take it for sure. I think when they continue the story, this new character that they have in here, Lonnie, is going to be really awesome. You know, Superstar or Tombstone, however you want to refer to him as. He's been a really sick character. I like how they're kind of setting him up to be maybe an anti-hero, but odds are he's going to, you know, fall deeper and deeper into a bad situation. He's going to be a good guy at the end of the day, but he just goes down the wrong path, and he's going to have this connection with Peter. He even pretty much becomes the Uncle Ben of the story. Uncle Ben isn't there to give him the, you know, typical speech about how with great power comes great responsibility. In fact, he gets a similar speech, not exactly, but he gets a speech like that from Mr. Osborn, and it's actually worse. It's with great power comes great respect or something. In the process of doing that, Mr. Osborn is almost the reason that he kills the Scorpion, but Lonnie gets in the way and tells him that, you know, hey man, you can't do that. You're Spider-Man. People look up to you. And that was just really sick. So their dynamic in this show is going to be really nice. And just the people behind it seem to really know what they're doing. They incorporate little cameos here and there. Iron Man is in there. You have Secretary Ross or whatever he's considered in this universe. I can't remember. He's just some government official. He's not the president, not yet. Aunt May is in the story. She's not really there a whole bunch though. She is, you know, for all intensive purposes, not that meaningful to the story, but you know, she's like, oh, I wish Ben was here to teach you the story and whatever. And it's cool because she looks exactly like the actress from the MCU. You're like, oh, well, oh, man, maybe there is an Uncle Ben in the MCU. I don't know. It's just stuff like that I think about. This really is like an origin story for Peter. You see him go through so many struggles. Like, he's brand new to being Spider-Man. His first suit that he has is so whack. I have so many good things to say about it, and I didn't think that I would, because this rendition did not interest me as soon as I knew that it wasn't a part of anything else, and I'm glad that I watched it. I was really surprised by what I had seen. Hopefully, we continue to get really good content out of it. This Spider-Man, I think, could be one of the best. He's just got so much going on. They leave in so many different, like, avenues for where they could take things. There's a scene where the symbiote that kind of causes all of this, or, like, is a part of what causes all of this, leaves a tiny bit of the goop behind, you know, so there could be a symbiote coming in. He could get the black suit. It could be so many different things. They've got multiple different baddies on the loose. You know, there's so many little things here and there that get me excited. Like, Norman Osborn is obviously a little corrupt. There's multiple times where you're like, there's something not quite right with him. I'm just kind of waiting for him to turn bad. So it sounds like ideally they're going to be releasing an entire new season every year. So if that's 10 new episodes every year, we could be expecting some really good stuff. And I'm excited for it. I'm glad that this show was, you know, honestly a hit. It seems like most people are enjoying it. And I, again, wasn't one of those people that thought they were going to. I want to see more from it. One of the things that I'm most excited for is to see what they have planned for Peter Parker's dad. So near the end of the story, at least for this season, Aunt May goes to like a prison or something like that. She goes and meets Peter's dad, and he asks how his son is doing. He wants to skip the small talk and just kind of figure out what's going on with his boy. It really has me fascinated if they're going to be doing the whole 10 episodes per season. That's it's a nice bit of content. I would like just a little bit more, but if the quality can be just as good, they can keep me hooked, I'm super down with it. I really liked it. I don't know what kind of score I would give it. I really need to figure out a scoring type of situation. And this really isn't a review. It's just me kind of like talking, shooting the shit, and I want more. That's kind of all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think of the new Spider-Man show, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Are you also in the camp of like, well, I still kind of do want to see the MCU's, Spider-Man have his origin story. I want to see how he got his powers. Is this good enough for you? Do you want to see more from this show? What are you looking forward to most? Do you hate it? Let me know. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you in another video very, very soon.